My name is Lee Ray. I'm from Cypress, Texas. I'm a native Texan. I've been in the hobby for about 40 years, and my AMA number is 86996. It was my dad. My dad was flying U-control planes in college. When I was a little kid growing up, we had a room dedicated to our hobby, and he had me sitting in there. We were building balsa kits, and it's been a passion of mine ever since. It's impacted my personal life quite a lot, since almost every place I've lived I've had a hobby room, and it's just a safe haven. And for me, it reminds me of the time with my dad. I like doing it a lot, to the point where I love going to events. I like visiting friends. It's kept me close with some good friends. And as far as taking it a step further, I'm now doing a fun little podcast with two of my good RC aviation friends, Terry and Fitz, with RC Roundtable. Well, I follow safety rules. I mean, I enjoy this hobby a lot, and I hate to see it getting disrupted when people aren't treating it safely. I love sharing it with my kids, and so I have some build rules in my workshop. So those are safety rules I think we also consider too. So I'm very careful around my kids building stuff. CA will burn, and when in doubt, change your knife blade out, little things like that. So, I mean, I've learned over time, again, just by doing it for 40 years, what are the safe things and non-safe things. But for me, it's just, I like reliving those memories with my kids. Well, I'm a professional photographer, and it is a hobby to me. Even though I've done work commercially, I love taking photos. In fact, I was here at this show taking a lot of photos for RC Roundtable, because it's a passion of mine. But also with two young boys, my hobbies have turned into what they like to do, which is baseball and scouting. So I'm quite active in those events as well. Certainly my dad. I don't think I'd be in this hobby if my dad didn't get me started. And my dad was also a photographer, so I've really, become my father in a way. But I enjoy that. I'm glad to say that. I know my kids may not be on the exact same path like I was too, but I like seeing that they're sharing some of the sport interests I had, some of the aviation history. In fact, my oldest son, is serious into this hobby, and I appreciate that he's actually better than me when I was his age, because I like seeing that move forward. And as far as in the hobby itself, because of my photography, I like seeing other photographers in the business. I like seeing other videographers in the business, and I aspire to have work as good as theirs. And I think it's exciting to see that kind of work out there. When I was a kid, we had, it's funny because I think about my mom in this situation, but my dad used to build in the living room. And I remember how upset my mom was about that. So we actually took a bedroom and made it our hobby room. And it was a haven. It was just a fun place. And some of my fondest memories are with my dad building stuff in there. So when I left the house as an older kid, getting out of college and so forth, and I rented an apartment, I bought a second bedroom just to have that hobby room. So I had my workbench, I had planes on the wall. And when I met my wife, I had to explain to her, hey, guess what? There's going to be this room over here. It's just what I love to do. And the fact that she was so accepting was wonderful. And when we moved to a new house together after we were married, I had another bedroom, and she was perfectly comfortable with that. It was great. And then when I had two kids, I had to move into the garage, and that was not great. So it was nice that when we finally had a little bit more money to get a bigger house for us, my wife said, what do you want your hobby room to look like? And it was amazing. I mean, you strive for that kind of relationship, because you've got to make amends with everybody who has to deal with your hobby, your passion. And it was nice for me to custom build a garage where I could put cars in it and then use the back section for my hobby room. And I made efforts to add as much lighting as possible, insulated, air conditioner, lots of working space. I'm a balsa builder, so I have lots of shelves and drawers for my balsa. And just recently, it's funny you asked me that question, I finally moved my oldest son into the workshop and gave him a space. Before it was Dad's workshop, and now he's in there. And of course he's expanded his area a little over mine, but as a good friend said to me, he goes, I know you're frustrated now, but 10, 15 years from now, you're gonna look back at these great days of you building with your son. And that's great. I mean, he asked for his own light. He asked for his own cutting board. He's asking for his own tools. And to me, that is a special bond I have with my kids, like I had with my father.